Welcome to the HSSA Podcast. I'm Evan.
And I'm Krista, and this is where we will be spilling all the tea on university life, Western and health science. Hi everyone, welcome back to the HSSA Podcast. My name is Krista.
And I'm Evan, and we're here with our president of HSSA and the VP Academics. You guys can introduce yourselves.
Hi, so my name is Elena and I'm the president of HSSA.
My name's Laiba, and I'm the vice president of academics.
So, thank you for being here.
Of course.
So happy. I know you guys have had a crazy day, but we have a lot to talk about, so we're just going to get right into it. First of all, we're nearing the end of your fourth year, which is crazy.
So
Do you guys have
sad,
plans for after graduation?
Yeah, I can jump in and go first. So right now I'm currently in the process of, I interviewed on Wednesday for a Master's of Biomedical Innovation and Entrepreneurship at McMaster. So that's a 1-year kind of flexible master's option. And it really kind of talks about innovation. And because I had roommates that did health sci and Ivy, I was kind of always interested in the business side, but I've always also been interested in a career in medicine. So this kind of gives me the opportunity to pursue a 1-year program and then hopefully in the future apply to medicine as well. And we'll see. What about you, Laiba?
Big things. So I actually applied to a bunch of Masters of Public Health and Global Health programs early in January. And I recently got accepted at my top school, which is U of T. Which is really amazing for Masters of Public Health. So currently that's kind of the trajectory for September. But I've also been applying to a few jobs and things like that. So I'm kind of looking at, if I want to take a year to just work and kind of prolong this master's degree, or if I want to jump right into it after the summer. So I guess we'll see.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
amazing.
great. Yeah, so how did you guys figure out that this is what you want to do? Were there specific courses that you took through undergrad that led you to, where you are right now?
So I guess we can both kind of speak on the same thing where basically we wanted to do med our entire lives. At least for me personally, all of high school I was like, okay, I want to do med, I'm going to go into health sciences, I'll get good grades, whatever, it'll set me up for success. And then it was after second year with health sci with bio, I was like, actually maybe this isn't for me. Just because I started learning just how many flaws and things there are wrong with the healthcare system here in Canada. And I was like, you know what, maybe I could advocate a little bit better and help more people if I work on a more policy or government level. So that was when I took healthcare management last sem. And I absolutely fell in love with that. And I fell in love with health policy and even ethics. So I was like, maybe I'll take the Masters of Public Health through. And we have a bunch of upper years that we are in contact with who are doing the same kind of thing. And they have the same trajectory as well. So I was like, maybe this is it for me. I did a little bit more research and that's what I decided to apply.
Yeah, so expanding on what kind of Laiba said, I feel like health sci really prepares you for so many different fields. I think when you are applying to master's programs, if you do get involved in extracurriculars and you take all the crazy, cool courses that we have in our program, you are really set up very well for courses like global health or public health, different master's programs, things like that. So I kind of started to realize that throughout health sci, that as I started to kind of come close to the end, I've been super, super busy, and I felt like, you know what, maybe pursuing a master's is something that I want to do to kind of see what else is out there. I feel like kind of what Laiba said as well, you kind of go through undergrad and high school thinking, oh my God, med is the only route. And in a way, sometimes you might go back to that. There's so many options for you to pursue something else before jumping into that, which I think is super exciting. So yeah, I feel like that's what kind of made me want to pursue something different for now.
We're kind of both in that right now. We're med school, we gotta go. But is that common for a lot of people to kind of change their minds, or is there still a lot of people that are thinking medicine or dentistry, or what else can you do out of health science?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely a 50-50 split, honestly. There's a lot of people that entered university wanting to go into med and they're still going strong, and then there's a lot of people that change their minds. And I think even for us, med is still in the cards. It's just that we want to get a little bit more of a feel of kind of what there is to offer other than medicine, because it is a huge commitment, right? You want to make sure that, okay, I'm 100% into this and I don't want to falter or anything like that. But I also want to explore, because high school really doesn't set you up for success in terms of the real world. And honestly, university, not even that much either. I think there's still so much more out there that we haven't learned. So it's really nice to get a feel for it before you commit to something like that. So I would definitely say it is a good fit.
100%. I definitely think a lot of people start to also turn towards other pathways dentistry, occupational therapy, naturopathic medicine. I know that's a big thing that's up and coming too. But I think there's just so many jobs and careers that students don't even know about yet because we're not in the workforce yet. So it's it's kind of one of those things when you work for a company or you have different connections, then you might learn about another company or another career option in health. But when you're a student, you don't always know until you're in that kind of situation. So I think, yeah, you kind of are presented with options as you go through your academic career and then professional career. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then also, like, I think one big thing is you don't really realize what medicine has to offer when you're in high school, right? So everyone has this like glamorous picture of like medical school, like Grey's Anatomy, like I'm going to be the next Ellen Gray, right? So, but then you kind of realize it's not all sunshines and rainbows, and it's a lot more than what you thought. And the job market right after is not guaranteed anymore either. Whereas for our parents or whoever was before us, it was. And so I think there's a lot more burdens and a lot more like hurdles as well now with medicine.
I'm not like really set on med school or dentistry or anything. I'm leaning more towards dentistry, but I'm also, I'm only in first year. I'm also, like you guys did, just trying to explore other things that may interest me. And I also know that you both went on an international exchange. I don't really know what it's called, like an international course in Scandinavia. So could you talk about that and what that experience was like?
Yeah, for sure. I can kind of start off.
Yeah.
So usually this is a third-year course called Aging Globally Lessons from Scandinavia. Students take it usually in their third year or their fourth year. And it's an amazing course because it just exposes students to healthcare approaches abroad. So you spend the entire semester learning about those healthcare approaches, and then you actually go in person and get to experience them for 2 weeks. So you go to Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and you get to see so many amazing things that you probably would not have seen if you didn't take that course.
Yeah.
It's also just such an amazing learning experience because you do so much group work. And I'm sure there's so many other things that we did learn, but Laiba and I both really enjoyed it.
No, it was honestly like something that I'll never forget. And I think having that opportunity in your undergrad is just such a blessing because it doesn't come often. Like there really only is around 30 to 40 students in that class. So you are getting picked out of, quite a few. And as Elena said, like it's not really an exchange, but it's more so like a study abroad. So it's a really cool and neat kind of perspective to it where you're learning in a classroom and you're learning virtually first. And then you actually get to explore what you've learned in the countries that you've listed. So it is really, really amazing. We got to go to the UN, which was something that I've always dreamed about because I also wanted to do healthcare law at one point in my undergrad. And so going to the UN, like getting a presentation by someone who works for the WHO, like that's something that you read every single day. Like in health sciences, like first year is always like, what's the definition of WHO? And then you have someone saying it.
There's like 3 different definitions.
So many. Like we literally joke about it. Like at grad, you're gonna have to like pledge an oath and say the definition in order to graduate.
Yeah, literally.
But it's so true. Like you get to actually get a presentation from the World Health Organization itself. Even like things like learning about accessibility, learning more about ageism, and aging in general, because you're actually studying from one of the best countries that have some of the best healthcare in the entire world, right? So being able to have that as kind of like the roadmap to then bring back here, I think is such like an honor and something that we were so privileged to do. And so bringing that back, you learn so much. You learn so much about cultural competency, things like that. So I definitely think it was very, very useful in a lot of different ways.
For sure. And the prof really facilitates community. Like we did so many fun things as a group. That was one thing, is like you're traveling with a class of 30 students and you're working with them all semester. But we got to go to like a sauna place. We we biked one day for like how many kilometers? Like
dude, I think over 60. It
like
was crazy.
we biked so much.
I've never biked that much.
There were so many experiences where you really get pushed out of your comfort zone in the best way, and I think that's one of like the top things that we have in our program. Aging Globally is amazing, and the professor, Dr. Z, is also amazing. Like that course could not run without her. She's awesome.
I'm so interested now after hearing about that and just following after this like class, talking about classes. How do you guys think students should effectively balance coursework, lab work, all your extracurricular stuff without burning out? Like, do you have tips for that, or what are your experiences?
I'm gonna pass this on to the wellness master here because
Wellness master. Well, honestly, I feel like I've taken a really different approach as I've worked kind of throughout undergrad. I feel like in first year I had a really tough time trying to balance school and clubs and everything. And even though I was only on one club, I was just on HSSA, I felt like I wasn't able to get the hang of school until like maybe second semester, first year, and even like second year. So then by the time I was in second year, I kind of felt a lot more motivated, and I went on another experiential learning experience to Italy with the Italian department. So once I got back in second year, I got to focus a lot more on so many different clubs. But because I was doing clubs, I actually had to manage my time with school. So then I found myself studying on campus all the time. But then because I was like very busy, I felt like I was staying on track. But then by the time I got to third year, I was kind of feeling a little bit of burnout. So then with time, I just started to prioritize more movement, like healthy eating, and then just getting involved in other activities with friends that would just help my wellness overall. I feel like that's how I did it.
Yeah, no, I honestly think that those are such great things, and I feel like it's so, I don't know, I feel like in health side, like a lot of people think that everyone's just thriving all the time because you're in health sciences, but it's not always true. I think it's so important to note that a lot of us do struggle a lot. While it may not be as incredibly daunting as medical sciences, it's still hard. Like it's still a lot of work, and it's still university at the end of the day. So there are a lot of like struggles and things that you go through, and I do think that like while it might sound cliche, like move more, like eat better, like it's actually so true. Like it's really textbook, and it actually works. You know, like going for a walk, clearing your head. Like Elena and I were literally like talking about going for a walk in the morning. Like she actually put me on. Like she put me on to like popular walks. Yeah, doing podcasts, like listening to them. I think that's also one thing. Like actually listening to your body. Like I'll start to feel myself like actually getting burnt out. Like I'm getting more tired. I'm sleeping more. I'm eating less, or like whatever it may be. So really being in tune with your body.
This year, like I did not expect to feel like I felt the exact same way. I was like during exam season, I didn't leave my res for like 5 days.
Oh wow!
I was inside all day. It was horrible. And then this semester, I did exactly that. Like ate real food and got outside every single day, and I feel like so much better. Like it's true. Like I feel like I'm at a different school.
Oh, that's
even
amazing.
It sounds really dramatic, but like just being outside, like there's so many trails, like around the campus and stuff.
Western is beautiful.
Yes,
it is very nice.
Yeah, I feel like we can be very transparent. The fact that I can say this, we all know this. School is hard, and sometimes being a student is hard because you have to always get up. Like sometimes you'll get a bad mark, and you still have to wake up the next day
and go to
and study and go to that class and study. And I feel like sometimes being a student, you get knocked down again and again and again.
Yeah.
So all those healthy habits that you have are all like kind of coping mechanisms for you to stay happy, for you to stay healthy, and for you to stay productive. So that's why I always emphasize like so many different wellness habits, and that's why we really tried to integrate that into HSSA this year.
Yeah, so do you have like a favorite wellness activity? I think you said with friends. Is that like your favorite?
Yeah, so I would definitely say going out with friends, whether it's something like simple as like grabbing a bite to eat, or like going on a walk together, even FaceTiming each other. Whenever I'm studying, I am alone, and being able to pick myself a little bit up is a lot more easier when I'm with my friends.
Well, I'm going to share maybe like an underrated wellness hack. So I think one super important thing to do every morning is to fix your bed. I think that is the one thing that like puts you together. It gives you momentum, and also a clean room. Like everyone has like a closing shift. Like at night, I'll make sure my room is clean. So the next morning, I wake up and everything's fixed. I write my to-do list. I know what needs to be done. I think that's a super underrated wellness hack because everyone talks about like walking, and I know I really emphasize that a lot too. And healthy habits, but the one thing about like fixing your bed is discipline, and it's like you start your day with that one action, and even if you have the worst day, you come home to a fixed bed. But also podcasts, like if you're having a hard day, listen to like Mel Robbins, someone else that you like. I think even just what you said about hanging out with friends, spending time with people that lift you up and also relate to you. Like I feel like Laiba and I, there's so many times where we've been transparent with each other where we're struggling with school, and we kind of motivate each other to keep working hard and keep persevering. And that's all you need in this program is like the support from your community. And you can find that through HSSA, through different clubs and just different classes, which is great.
And heavy on the routine, honestly. Like, I think one thing about me is, of course, like you're totally right. Like having a clean space gives me a clean mind, like in order to study. Like I know so many times me and my roommates joke, like before an exam, like 15 minutes before, we're cleaning the entire house. But that's just how it is, right? Like you want like a clean space to kind of like clear your head and really focus on what you need to focus on. But for me, it's like my skincare routine as well in the morning. Like I need my morning time. Like I need my breakfast. Like I need to do my skincare, like however many steps it is, even if it's just 2. And it just like really like kind of tones you down and sets you up for success for the day. So heavy on that for sure.
I agree with that as well. Especially like washing your face with cold water in the morning. Oh my god. Nice. It's like you could be exhausted and then you're like, okay, somehow I'm awake now.
I just got a new under eye cream and I'm like, oh, this is like the life. It's like the little things.
So exactly.
I love that. I recently got like this paint by numbers thing from Michael's, and I've been like doing it with some other girls on my floor whenever we're free, and it's so much fun. Like, we put on like a movie and then we just like paint.
Oh, that's such a awesome.
But it's taking forever. It's like really intricate.
But even like 10 minutes of that is like more than enough, you know? So awesome.
Do you guys have like a morning coffee that you have like, or a special order or something you have to do in the morning?
We are literally gonna say
matcha.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Have a
both
matcha.
have a matcha.
So good.
Yeah, we love
love
matcha.
it.
We do
Yeah.
love coffee, but like
Yeah.
one thing that we've been obsessed with recently is matcha.
Yeah. I think like one thing, if you're my friend, like you know that like I'm such like a drink person. Like I need a drink, whether it's like 2 or 3, especially during exam season.
I
So,
definitely agree with that. Like we love the drinks, but I would
Yeah.
emphasize like always having water in the morning.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you have coffee too quickly, it's a bit too much. And
Yeah.
No, I
trying to
agree.
like minimize the energy drinks sometimes. I know exam season, like you can kind of see me with an Alani or something like that. But right now I've been trying this new matcha brand called Clever, and I started like having this recently in January, but it's a matcha that has lion's mane in it
Oh,
and
okay.
adaptogen, so it improves my focus.
Oh,
And I've definitely seen differences with it, but I really love that, and it's kind of like lighter on my stomach than
Yeah.
sometimes the
Yeah.
coffee is really
Coffees
strong.
can be definitely very
Yeah,
good.
but an espresso, I have one too. It's amazing.
It's so good.
It's you save money because you're not always going to Starbucks or other Tim Hortons, other places.
I burned through all my flex dollars on Starbucks this year.
Oh, no.
sadly.
oh yeah, I hear lots of people saying the same, and also like at the Spoke apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoke just got matcha.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
I
on
know. I
Instagram.
literally
think we
saw
might
the
have to
ad for
try.
it, and I was like, "There's no way this is happening during Ramadan. Like,
Yeah.
this is actually like." But
Also,
I can't
Twins
wait.
Cafe matcha is amazing.
Twins is insane.
Where is
Oh,
the one right
I
by
haven't
the
been.
main
It's-
gates.
near Mets.
I don't know that.
You know where
So-
King Richie's is?
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
right beside
Oh,
King
okay.
Richie's.
I've never
Yeah.
been to
It
King
just
Richie's.
opened up, so it's actually 2 guys that like decided to open it up, and they have a barbershop connected to it. But
Mhm.
it's honestly some of like the best drinks that I have. Like, they have Spanish lattes now,
Mhm.
different
Oh.
matchas. They just
They-
opened a matcha bar.
Yeah, they opened like they did a strawberry matcha,
Yeah.
like a
Oh my
lavender
gosh.
cold foam matcha, and
Kinda
the service
crazy.
is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a great study space. It's
If-
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you
Good
need any
to
other
know.
coffee or cafe or X, like I think we've been to like almost all of them. Yeah, like Commonwealth, Reset, like
Yeah,
all of these. I literally just go to cafes.
locomotive.
Locomotive
you
is
went
so
there.
good too.
That's a good pick me up too.
Yeah.
I
Study
have
at
to
a
try out
cafe.
Twins. I live
Study
at
at a
Mets,
cafe
and it's
is
like
nice.
You
I
should
know.
have to
definitely
try
go.
out.
You
Even
have
on the
to.
weekends, it's so nice. I go like on a
Mhm.
Saturday just to try to get some work done, and I
Mhm.
love it.
And like the space is so cute. Like you enter and you're like, I feel like I'm in Toronto.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it
does
actually
feel
like
like
feels like it doesn't feel like London in there, and
Yeah.
like the music is so good too. So it just keeps you going.
And then we just wanted to ask, did you guys do any research for your undergrad, and how was that experience like?
So I didn't really do any kind of like hardcore like structured research per se. There was no publishings in it, but I actually was mentored by Dr. Maxwell Smith. So he taught health policy last year, and I absolutely loved that course. And I was just like, I kind of want to know a little bit more about it. Can we talk? And he was so open to it. So we had multiple meetings. I would say like every 2 weeks, and he would kind of give me like different publishings to read over. Like it was basically more so a focus on the triage of ethics, the ethics of triage in hospitals. And that was something that I was really interested in, and it's not like a huge or widely known topic, so it's a lot more niche, but you get to know a little bit more about it from an expert who's written like different publications on it.
Yeah, same kind of goes for me. In my second year, I kind of got involved in a project about glaucoma, and so I kind of got to be like a mini research assistant, but the project never like fully finished just because I didn't find myself really interested in it as much anymore. But now that I'm in my 4th year, I'm doing an independent study with one of the professors and her PhD student, and it's about what is known about cultural competency in primary care settings in Ontario, which kind of builds off of our experience in Scandinavia through aging globally. That made me really excited about like cultural competency, and also primary care is a huge thing in Ontario right now with all like the physician shortages. So I've found myself really enjoying that, and I love the independent like study aspect part of it because you have deadlines, you're meeting with a supervisor on like a week by week basis, and yeah, I really enjoy that. So.
And to get into independent study, can that be students in any year or second, third, fourth?
I think it's just for 3rd and 4th year
Yeah.
students, and I
It's
think you
more
have to
so
have
for
a
years.
specific average, like above 80, I think, or above 75. And then you also have to like link up with like a professor, or like a PhD student, usually a professor in the health sciences faculty.
I assume you guys have been on HSSA for a while, like for a few years. So, I just wanted to ask, like your experience and the different roles you may have had.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll start off with like how I joined HSA because I feel like it's a funny story. So in my 1st year, my mom literally told me like, "Hey, listen, you should join one club at school." And I was like, "Mom, that's so boring. Like, I'm not doing that. It's not cool anymore. Like maybe in high school, but I'm in university now. Like I'm not joining a club." She's like, "Please promise me you'll just apply to one." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, fine. The one club I'm going to apply to is HSA because my health sci staff had sent it to us in like a Frosh group chat." So I'm like, let me just apply and see. And somehow I landed an interview, and the interview went well, and I got to be a 1st year rep, which was super fun. But it was kind of during COVID, so all our meetings were online, so I didn't really get to experience the whole vibe yet. But I really liked the team from the few in-person meetings we did have. And then I stuck with it for my second year, where I was like the vice president of student affairs, and I got to have like a healthcare challenge about like the opioid crisis in London. And it was kind of done virtually because it was still kind of pandemic times. And then in my third year, I was the vice president of academics, which was amazing because I got to sit on curriculum committee meetings and kind of voice my opinion in terms of academics and also plan academic events. And then I ran for president. Now this year I'm president. So it's been like super fun 4 years, full circle moment.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. For me, I joined HSSA in my second year. I had no idea about also had no interest in joining clubs. And I quickly realized that wasn't going to be the case because I actually missed it a lot. Like I really missed student council. So I applied for HSSA. I applied for an interview, got it, and I got second year rep in my second year. And then in my third year, I was vice president of student affairs, like Elena. And so second year, I basically coordinated like Stop the Bleed. So those are different workshops that we have, and you can get like hands-on experience and then also like a certification, which I feel like everyone wants that up and puts it on their LinkedIn as well. And then vice president of student affairs, that was honestly one of my favorites as well. I ran the healthcare challenge in that year, and it was on intimate partner violence. So that's a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and I wanted to reach out to Dr. Tara Miller. And we were like, you know what, let's make this more community-based. So we reached out to the Huron Women's Shelter, and we made an incredible, really, really incredible challenge. And that motivated me to run for VP Academics because I was just like, I absolutely loved taking charge of like events and different things like that. And as VP Academics, like this year, we've had over 9 events for academics, which has been honestly a huge win, with over like 100 views on each and 100 like people like participating. So that's been a really, really incredible thing. And I think overall, it's just been so nice to see the trajectory of HSSA. Like we've gained so much more outreach, even from our like, first year to second year. To now, like it's just grown so much, and I'm so proud of that. It's kind of like a little baby, that you have. Like you're so proud of it.
Speaking of full circle moments, we both heard we got interviews today.
Oh
for
my
HSSA.
That's amazing.
So
That's so good.
hopefully we have similar stories like you guys.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. We're both so interested in being a part of it, and even this year, like just being on the podcast. Like,
it was fun.
we have our own little community here on the podcast team. It's been so much fun.
That's awesome. Do you find like HSA gives you like transferable skills, or like just clubs in general?
Yeah, like absolutely. I think like communicating within the podcast team, especially like even if like just scheduling, like working with each other, working through like bumps along the way.
Yeah, for sure.
And like meeting new people. Now we've got to meet you guys and everybody else. So
I feel like extracurriculars, maybe not just clubs, but like other volunteering roles, definitely helps me the most in developing like different soft skills like leadership and whatnot, more than like just going to class. So I think these things are really important, like just as important as schoolwork, if you ask.
And the fact that you guys are also in your first year, right? And doing this is like a huge, amazing thing. So I would definitely say like getting involved early on is so good, and it only sets you up for success in the future as well. And I do know that like even in high school, like everyone was like extracurriculars don't matter. In university, like they actually do. Like even in my recent job interview, I spoke so highly of HSSA, and I talked about how even like just marketing yourself and marketing the things that you've done is so important, and such a good skill set. So saying that you ran an event for over 100 students, like that's a huge thing. It shows that you have good public speaking skills, you have good communication, good time management, you're able to organize things effectively. So these are a lot of different instances that actually highlight your skills in ways that you may not even imagine. So they're definitely an asset when you're applying for jobs.
To wrap it up, favorite upper year course that you guys have taken?
Oh, this is hard. This is hard. Can I pick one from like just this year for now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, my favorite course right now is actually Understanding Stress with Eric Collins, because obviously as students you can go through so much stress and you don't really realize the impacts that it has on you. Like everyone will tell you stress is bad. And so through the first half of our course we basically learned how stress impacts you negatively, like how it can cause different chronic diseases. But then the course shifted in the second half. Now it's all about like the upside of stress. So how you can use stress to improve like your performance or use it to like really excel, because they were saying something in one of our textbook readings which is interesting, and it was kind of about how people that have higher stress levels that's tied with like more well-being in their life, like they have a greater sense of like purpose in life. And I felt like that was really interesting, because it's kind of like, oh my god, I'm stressed all the time, why am I so stressed? But at the same time it's like, wait, it's because I have a higher purpose, like I'm working super hard. And so if you can kind of change your mindset in terms of stress, you can change a lot. And so that course is really eye-opening for me.
Even for me, like I would say this year my favorite course has been healthcare management. It's with Dr. Sibbald, and she's amazing. But healthcare management was basically about not just learning about what management is and what government is like, or what different managing roles can be, but it's also about how you should market yourself, how you can be a better person, how to take interviews, how to write like a resume or a cover letter. And she had some really good kind of like presentations about what it means to be a leader as well. And so, working in management, things like that, you need to be a good leader, right? And being a leader doesn't mean that you're just dictating people as well. There's so many different leadership styles. And I think that that's something that really spoke out to me as well, is because even on HSSA, like, we're very collaborative.
Yes.
Like, it's never been like I have an event, you need to do this, this, and this. It's like more of like a collaboration. It's more of like, getting, like, conversing with one another, seeing what works, what doesn't, while also managing different tasks and different roles. And so I do think that that is a course that really set me up for success as well. It taught me a lot about the field that I want to go into. And it really does teach you a lot of soft skills and hard skills as well to take in the future. And there was a bunch of different guest speakers as well. We actually had one guest speaker by Connor. She works at EY, which is one of the big 4 companies here in Canada, or even in the world, actually. And she's working in healthcare consulting. And this woman is literally like a global partner. So she sits at Ireland and here as well. And she's only in her mid-30s. She's married. And I was just like, her speaking and talking about what a day in her life looks like what she's accomplished. And the fact that she said that I was sitting in one of the seats that you guys were sitting in once as well, just really motivated me. So I think that class was just super motivating. It really showed that you can do whatever you want to do. You just need these skills to do it. So I do think that one was like, it was like a little mini toolbox, I would definitely say, that I definitely want to keep with me for the future. So I definitely do love courses that teach you beyond just the classroom. So even like understanding stress, like I'm in that course as well. Yeah. Honestly, it's amazing. Like, we walk in, we get to meditate. Collins is an amazing professor. Like, absolutely love him.
I really look forward to taking all these like cool upper year courses.
They're awesome.
And I can actually like pick what to take. Like, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. Also, like, global health promotion that I took with Dr. Aziz. That was amazing. I loved that one. And then I also took creative healing with Dr. Orchard last semester. That was super cool. There's definitely a few other courses that like we love. And I think we posted on HSSA, Aging globally for sure.
Even like ethics with Kirkwood, like that was honestly one of my favorites. I feel like everyone's like,
is that a second year course?
I believe.
And then we took food ethics in 4th year. Both Laiba and I took that. That was super cool.
It is a mandatory. Yeah, it was honestly really, really sick. And it wasn't a hard course to do well in, but there was just rich like conversation and like discussion in the classroom, which was really nice. And you take it in 2nd year ethics, the intro to ethics. And then now it's a 2nd year course, but before it was a 3rd year course, health policy. And again, a lot of people are split on that as well. It's not an easy course, but I just think that it's so interesting. Like, you learn real life case studies on wait times, on kind of like the injection, like surveillance as well, safe injection sites, like the opioid crisis. Like, you learn so much about what's happening in our world today. There's a lot of good gems, definitely in upper years, maybe more than 2nd and 1st year, but it's definitely something to look forward to for sure.
I'm so excited to take courses and get to like pick it. I think we got to pick like 2.
Yeah.
Like, really got to pick 2 this year.
So
definitely.
But those courses definitely set you up for success for sure. And even in 2nd year, you're taking all those courses. Like, it really does set the blueprint of what your 3rd and 4th year is going to look like. And you're definitely getting more one-on-one as well. So it's definitely good. But you're definitely right. Like, being able to choose your own courses is definitely a lot more fun for sure.
Well, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Have we reached the end of our 2nd episode?
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. It was really nice to speak to the both of you.
Yes,
Of course.
thank
you for having us.
I hope everybody enjoys. See you next time.
Bye.